Today, artificial intelligence is the most powerful marketing narrative in the technology industry. From Silicon Valley startups to global corporations, executives have rushed to claim that AI will transform productivity, replace human labor, and fundamentally reshape the economy. But behind the headlines and investor presentations, a growing number of experts are warning about the phenomenon increasingly known as AI washing. AI washing happens when companies exaggerate or misrepresent the capabilities of artificial intelligence to attract more investors, inflate valuations, boost their stocks or share, or justify strategic decisions such as layoffs. Recently, companies like IBM, Microsoft, Cisco, Amazon, Salesforce, Fiverr, and even Block have laid off thousands of people, arguing that chatbots, automations, software engineering, AI-driven network, AI agent, AI tools, and generative AI can do the job better or faster than humans. The recent mass layoffs at the fintech company Block offer one of the clearest examples of this disgusting emerging trend. In early 2026, Block CEO Jack Dorsey announced that the company had eliminated 4,000 people, that's nearly half of its workforce. The justification was striking. According to Jack Dorsey, advances in artificial intelligence have dramatically increased productivity, making a much smaller workforce sufficient to run the company. That said, interviews with current and former Block employees show a very different picture, one that illustrates really how AI washing is working. Inside Block, workers say AI tools are helpful. I am sure AI is helpful. I'm using it every day. But they have also said that AI is far from capable of replacing human employees at scale. Many employees report that they were required to use internal AI systems to assist with coding, product design, and operational tasks. But the tools remain heavily dependent on human guidance. One former product employee recalled realizing the limits of the technology during a company event where executives celebrated the potential of internal AI systems. He said, "The tools aren't proactive. You have to tell them what to do. An employee is more than a series of tasks. You can't really AI that." Now, his skepticism proved justified. He was among the thousands of employees laid off soon afterwards. Several Block engineers said that AI-generated code still requires extensive human revision. According to one employee involved in AI-assisted development, roughly 95% of AI-generated code still requires human corrections before it can be deployed into production systems. In other words, the technology is accelerating certain tasks, but not replacing the engineers themselves. At least, not yet. And that is the problem with layoffs, because if AI cannot yet replace large portions of a workforce, why do companies claim it can? The answer is in the financial markets. Block's layoffs came after a difficult period for the company. The firm had invested heavily in cryptocurrency, and its stock had declined amid volatility in the crypto market. The shift towards AI messaging appears designed to reposition the company in investors' eyes. One current employee described the layoffs as posturing for the market. This was a bold move to reposition the company away from the crypto and towards AI, he said. It changed the public narrative around the company. Well, the strategy appears to have worked, at least in the short term. Block's stock rose after the layoffs and AI announcement. That pattern is increasingly visible across all the tech sector. Companies frame layoffs not as a cost cutting measure, but as AI driven productivity breakthroughs. Of course, it's a lie. The implication is clear. Fewer workers are needed because intelligent machines are doing the work. So, their systems are working and they need more money to make it even better so they can get rid of 90% of the workforce, making it extremely attractive for investors. But in many cases, the underlying reality is far more conventional: economic pressure, strategic repositioning, or investors' messaging. Despite enormous advances in machine learning and generative AI, experts widely acknowledge that the technology still has significant limitations. Current AI systems, including tools developed by companies like OpenAI and Anthropic, excel at pattern recognition, the pictures, language generation, writing code, summarizing docs, generating content, and generally assisting with structured tasks. That said, they lack many capabilities that human workers rely on daily, like strategic thinking, contextual judgment, accountability, ethical reasoning, long term planning, or emotional intelligence. In complex industries such as financial technology, these human capabilities remain essential. Block employees say this is especially true in heavily regulated sectors like banking and payments, where compliance and risk management require careful human oversight. AI can help write code faster, but deciding what code should exist in the first place remains a human responsibility. Ironically, the aggressive push towards AI adoption inside companies can sometimes reduce productivity rather than increase it. Several Block employees reported experiencing what they describe as AI fatigue. Workers say the use of AI tools was monitored closely, with performance evaluations partially tied to AI usage metrics. In some cases, employees felt compelled to use AI even when it slowed down their work. There was pressure to use it even if it wasn't the most efficient way to do the task, one employee explained. At the same time, customer-facing AI deployment have created new challenges. Internal surveys reportedly showed frustration among customers interacting with AI chatbots for support requests. Some bots made significant mistakes, including advising customers to close their accounts to solve simple problems. For financial companies, such errors can damage customer trust. The layoffs at Block come with a growing concern that AI could trigger widespread job losses across the US economy. Analysts at Goldman Sachs have estimated that AI adoption could eventually eliminate millions of jobs. But there is a crucial difference between long term technological transformation and short term corporate messaging. AI washing thrives in that gap. What might happen 10 years from now is different from what is happening now. In plain English, millions of people may lose their job to AI in 10 years, but fewer workers will lose their job to AI in 2026. By presenting layoffs as AI driven inevitabilities, companies can portray workforce reduction as technological progress rather than strategic decisions. Now, the future of AI and employment remains uncertain. Over time, advances in automation may indeed transform many professions. But the experience of Block employees suggests that, at least for now, the technology's capabilities are being exaggerated in corporate narratives. For many workers inside the company, the most immediate consequence of the layoffs is not a revolution in productivity, but a dramatic increase in workload for those who remain. That gap between what AI can do and what companies claim it can do misrepresents the truth. And that's why I call it AI washing. And as long as investor enthusiasm for artificial intelligence remains strong, the temptation for companies to exaggerate its impact will likely continue. The good news about AI washing is that millions of people that will be displaced by AI, and here I mean lose their job, right? In the next 10 years, have time to think about options or solutions. And those solutions are, first of all, major retraining programs, shorter work weeks, universal income or global AI dividend, taxation of automation or any form of AI, free services like, for example, free healthcare, free education, free public transportation, free public housing, free internet, etc., etc. Expanded social safety nets or care economy, reduced retirement age, public employment programs, AI human collaboration, and here I mean AI prompt engineer, AI supervisor, algorithm auditor, synthetic data curator, AI ethicist, etc., etc. They might even be an entrepreneurship explosion, and that is because AI lowers the cost of starting companies. Individual could launch micro businesses, AI powered solo companies, niche consulting services, digital product businesses. AI may enable one-person companies worth millions of dollars. And we can also have cooperative ownership of AI tools. But to do any of that, we need our politicians to start talking about it. It will take a lot of years to do any of those options. But so far, nobody is talking about those solutions. And remember, we only have about 10 years. Now, as individuals, there is not much we can do except calling our representatives and start asking them what they plan to do and forcing them to include these options in their program. Now, what will you do? Are you going to call your representative? Let me know in the comments below. And I see you on the next video. Bye.